Hello, hello. How
Hey,
are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What's happening?
Good. Welcome, everybody. This is Chit Chat Photo Booth Podcast with your host, Sharon Reed. That is me, owner of Focus and Fabulous Events, as well as the Chit Chat Photo Booth Owners Community and Podcast. Also, the Photo Booth Owners Retreat host, which is happening this weekend. Why my voice sounds the way it does, why I look a little tired, because it takes a lot of work to bring photo booth owners together. We are super duper busy getting ready to go into our holiday season, and I will never do a retreat in November again. So today I have Selah Brooks.
Yeah,
Um, and he is out of. You just told me. I just keep thinking about Notre Dame, so it's near Notre Dame.
it's LaPorte, Indiana.
There we go.
Yeah,
Indiana, Indiana.
hmm
That, or I think about the Jackson Five when you say Indiana.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
is that near where they were from?
yeah. So it's Gary, Indiana. So
Gary.
I'm probably 45 minutes away from Gary.
You're 45 minutes away from everything. So it's kind
Yeah,
of like how it's a lot of cities like that. I feel like DC is like, close to everything. You go to
hmm
Baltimore, you get to Northern
yeah,
Virginia, things like that. It's not too far from New York, not too far from Philadelphia, like
right,
those
right.
cities.
So I'm close enough to where I can go shop in them areas, but
Mm,
I'm also far enough where don't nobody want to come stay where I stay. You know what I mean?
yes,
So,
that part.
hmm
That part. That's my
yeah,
brother. My brother's like, he's in Vegas and he's
hmm
like, everybody always wants to come visit. And I was like,
right.
I know they
Yeah,
do.
you want to come
Why
visit? Right.
So I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, and then we'll talk about like how we met, that type of thing. So let me just get your website up here so people can know how to connect with you. And all right, so let's go, Selah.
Yeah. So my name is Selah. I'm the owner of Phenomenal Photo Booth Company. So like I mentioned, I'm based out of Indiana, and so j- next January, this is going to be my second year running a photo booth business. So I'm still pretty new. Obviously, I still got a lot to learn. But I'm blessed to be able to have like the amount of growth and success
Yeah.
that I've been having this year. And I'm excited to be on because I've been watching your content, and I want to say like I respect everything you're doing. You are doing a lot, so we appreciate you. You most definitely giving us a lot of education when it comes to photo booth, and you big stepping out here. Like
Mhm.
I appreciate you and appreciate you, and I respect your hustle. And we gonna have fun. We gonna get into it today. We are gonna have fun.
Definitely, definitely. And I was shocked to find out, one, how young you are into the business.
Mhm.
um, by looking at your content, by looking at, your posts, everything that you're doing, it feels like you've been doing this a while or you had extremely good guidance. What when you said, "Oh, I want to start a photo booth company," like what was your inspiration?
So I was in marketing sales when I before I even got into the photo booth. I was in marketing sales, and I worked for a marketing company. I did that for 5 years, and there was 100% commission based. And to make a long story short, I found that they wouldn't treat me right. Like on the back end, on the money side of things. And so even though I found out, I didn't say anything right away because I'm making me some good money now, right?
Uh,
And so I started looking for a way to transition out of that, kind of like an exit plan, right? An
mhm,
escape plan.
mhm.
And so I went to this networking event, and I'm really known like in my local community. I be cracking these jokes, like when we do networking and stuff. And so I got approached by this guy to be a DJ. And at the time, I'm like, man, I'm in marketing sales, and being a DJ ain't got nothing to do with each other. So I told him no. But then he was like, man, we can give you $1,000 a gig. I'm like, man, hey, you got yourself a DJ. You know what I mean? So I'll be Dr. Dre in that thing, Grandmaster Flash. But they really wanted me to MC, because that was my skill, being able to talk to people and engage with people, like the energy that I give off. Um, and so I was what was called I called it a DJ and trading, so like a digit DJ and training, and I sucked. Like I wasn't a good DJ. I was pretty trash. And so they took me to this venue for a wedding, and my job as a DJ in training was to go and watch the photo booth and make sure everybody was using it okay and everything. And I
Wow.
realized at certain parts of the party, there was a bigger line at the photo booth. You know, there's like more people at the photo booth than there was on the dance floor. And so I'm looking at the photo booth and I'm like, man, this could be a really good opportunity for me. Like I can rent this. I didn't know what it was, right? Like when I heard
Mhm.
the word photo booth, I thought it was like a box with a curtain on it or something.
Right.
So it ended up being that booth was a salsa photo booth. So I had the idea to rent it. And then I went home, I did the research and everything. And then I was like, all right, I'm about to just jump into the photo booth business. And then I purchased it. And then as soon as the booth came to my doorstep, I quit the job that I was with. And I went to another marketing company. Right.
Mm.
So I'm thinking over here that I'm just about to, grow my photo booth business on the side and then just ride off into the sunset. But I ended up getting laid off. So I got into the photo booth business full time by default. You know what
Wow.
I mean?
Yeah.
But and it's really, and I tell people this all the time. So like it's really crazy how your situation, like what you're going through in life, it allows you to see an opportunity differently. You see what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
seen a photo booth. I didn't know I was gonna get laid off like 7, 8 months later, but it was an opportunity because I was looking for something. I found an opportunity, and thankfully, I had my photo booth because that was what was paying my bills and getting me by. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the company that had you doing the DJ and training, that was like an event company.
It was a DJing company. Yeah.
Okay, but they also had photo booths.
Right. They were added on to as a an add on to their packages. Right.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things. Like when I first started, I started working for DJ companies that
Yeah.
didn't invest in the software. I mean, in
Mhm.
the equipment, but they wanted to offer the service.
Right.
So my first full year of photo boothing was white labeling for
Hmm.
DJ and entertainment companies, um,
Okay.
which was great because I had no experience in this industry, and this kind of helped me learn.
Yeah.
Um, Showed me how the business worked, what types of events I could possibly do,
Hmm.
what I didn't like to do.
Right. Yeah.
And then also just I learned a lot about pricing, kinda like
Yeah.
going
Okay.
back.
Yeah.
Um, how I really learned I was white labeling, and I don't know if the person meant to tell me. They told me how much they sold the booth for. I was like,
Mm.
what? So how am I the only one? I'm doing all the work and I'm getting the shortest end of the stick.
Yeah. Yeah. And you want to know
Like,
what's
what?
so funny about that? Like I'll tell you, and that's really why. Like when I figured out for me, like man, I'm working hard for these marketing companies, or at least the one that I was with the first time, and I'm getting played on the back end, right? And
Mhm.
so what I started to figure out, and this is how I looked at it, right? Like as a sales guy, you get commission. A commission is a small percentage of the sale, right? But
Mhm.
I'm going out, man. I'm cold calling people. I'm getting past gatekeepers, getting straight to the business owner, closing that deal and bringing that deal back to the company, and I get a commission. In
Right.
other words, if I'm a lion, I got to go out, hunt the gazelle, kill the gazelle, bring the gazelle back to the village. Why should I get the leg? You feel what I'm saying? And
Right.
so it really taught me about learning myself, my self worth, and my self value.
Mhm.
And like I was salty about it at first, but when I really looked at it as an entrepreneur, like if I was in sales, right? Anybody that's trying to step out and generate their own money, as an entrepreneur, like you have to be able to know your self worth and your self value. And if your job not going to give it to you, you got to go out there and make it yourself. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Generate that for yourself. And so that's always my vision is like, what do I think I'm worth?
Yeah.
Where do I want to be in life? And then I just keep taking the next steps to get to whatever that point is for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I came from, like I said, I had a job, but I also was doing network marketing. And
Okay.
I was in a company where the owner had grew her tribe,
Mhm. Yeah.
her
Right.
force to 30,000,
Hmm.
30,000, what were we called? I guess sales team. I don't know what we were called,
Yeah. You're
you know.
right. Right.
But we were all promoting her name, her brand, and I'm like, well,
Hmm.
what if I did all this work for my brand, my
Right.
name,
Right.
something that went straight back to me. I
Hmm.
learned a lot though. I learned that I learned how to make money. A
Yeah.
lot of people
Yeah.
you really need to think about you go to work every day and you help someone else make money when you could go out and make money for yourself instead of just taking a piece of something you created. There are people like I remember I was doing for a very short time mortgage sales, And
Okay.
they're challenge. We need you to have $1 million week months. We need you to have $1 million month. You need to have $1 million month. And I'm like, if I can generate $1 million for another company, why can't I generate $1 million for myself?
Exactly. Exactly. It's funny you say that $1 million number. So my third year at that marketing company, we generated $1 million in sales.
Mm-hmm.
I was the only salesperson at the marketing company. So I'm not gonna say I was 100%, but as the only salesperson, I most definitely was 80%.
Right,
You see
right,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I was like, man, I can do that for myself. And so like when you know that when you're entrepreneur at heart, right?
Mhm.
You got skills and gifts where you can go out and generate your own money.
Yeah,
You need to find a tool or a vehicle where you can do that for yourself.
right.
And for us as owner photo booths, this is our vehicle to generate $1 million for ourselves.
Yeah.
You can just take that same work ethic and the same, you can hear that voice saying, hey, we need $1 million a month or whatever. That's $1 million a month. That's crazy. Right. But if you can do that for yourself, you don't have to be worrying about somebody else above you or barking orders at you or whatever the case. Because a lot of entrepreneurs I talk to or business owners, we don't play well with supervisors. You know what I mean? We don't
No,
do good with
not
bosses.
anymore. Look,
We don't do shit.
I wouldn't even know. No, I wouldn't
Right.
know what to do.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I
Hey.
don't think I could do it ever again. I mean, I'm never say
Mhm.
never. I just don't think I could go back to working for someone again. I just don't
You
think.
ain't lying. They
I
over here
don't.
telling you to have $1 million. Hey, why don't you come out here and having $1 million a month? Why don't you do it?
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
And so, and
I remember
that's
the day
that's
I
what made me
left.
get into this.
Yeah, I remember the day I left. I was. It wasn't even the day I left. I went back to my job, so I got laid off. Started my photo booth business. Been
Hmm.
working my photo booth business about a year, almost a year.
Yeah.
And a few months, maybe about 5 months, 5 months, five
Okay.
months. Went back to work because I was like, I ain't ready yet. I need some more time to cook. And I went back to work and they were welcoming us back and they were like, we can't do this without you. You
Hmm.
guys make us, you build us. And I was like, what? What? We do? Well, why can't I build myself? Why can't I boost myself up? Why can't I market myself? Why can't I promote myself?
Hmm. Hmm.
We don't look at that. And it comes from upbringing. It comes from not having anybody to model that for us.
Hmm.
Our parents, most of us, or, a lot of people watch their parents go to work for someone else.
Right.
So if you
Yeah.
don't have someone to model yourself after, if you don't have anybody to support your dreams, then it's not going to happen, or it's going to be harder. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. It's just going to be a lot harder than if you have people that are behind you. I was lucky to have support behind me. I didn't have, I did. I kind of had a model. My stepdad was an entrepreneur. I didn't realize that's what he was.
Yeah.
I just thought he cut grass, but he had a landscape business. And he didn't go nowhere else. That's what he did. That was his, that's what it was, bread and butter. That's what brought money in. But I didn't know that was an entrepreneur, growing up. I used to do nails. I went to cosmetology school and did nails when I was in high school. I was an entrepreneur. I went out there, found people that need their nails done. I did their nails. They paid me money. So
Hmm.
I had been doing it, not knowing that I was an entrepreneur, just thinking it's, whatever.
Yeah.
So now if we start training our young earlier
Hmm.
to, you don't have to be an entrepreneur, but at least know if you need to make some money, you
Right.
know how to make
Right.
if cent.
Well, and it's funny that you say that. I sold candy in high school. I was the candy man.
Me too.
I was a candy. I had a candy business. I'm slanging non-laters, Laffy Taffies, Airheads,
Yeah.
and I would have these partnerships. So my friend Alyssa worked at Speedway, or not Speedway, but Subway. So Subway, at the end of the day, they got to get rid of all their cookies. They throw them in the garbage. And I
Stop.
would tell her, I was like, hey, I need them cookie sales. So if you come over here with me, I'll sell them for you. I'll give you 50% of whatever I sell. The more cookies, the more money. So she'll bring me like 40, 60 cookies. You know what I mean? And so like I would make $100 before noon. Meanwhile, the rest of my friends, they working at Wendy's,
Thank
for like
you.
7.25. You can only work 4 hours. The work to pay ratio is garbage. I'm telling my friend, hey, come, I could put you on. You know what I
That
mean?
my mom
So
used to take me to
always tell all of us,
Costco and buy the boxes of the candy.
come on,
I would have my, like,
wholesale.
I would say, okay, how much money I want to make today? I just put it in my
Mhm.
book bag. How much
Right.
money? And like you said, by lunchtime, I'm sold out. I'm done. I
Yeah.
done made my money. Thank you. And I'm like, what if I put double of that in my bag? I would have sold all that too.
Yeah. It's so you learn these things, you know
Mhm.
what I mean, growing up as a kid, but understand there's levels to it. Like
Yeah.
even though I was the high school candy man, obviously I got the personality, I know how to sell, I got the mentality for it. When I was in marketing sales, it's levels to it. I'm talking to a guy who been running a business for 30 years. At the time, I'm 19. I don't know anything about a business. And so I'm getting prejudged before I walk through the door.
Hmm.
Like, what could this young dude tell me about advertising and running a business? If you've been doing business for 20 years, you've seen 20 years worth of salespeople.
Hmm.
So it's really trying to. I had to get better. I had to hone in on my skills, really understand how to move, and how to differentiate myself from everybody else selling websites and selling marketing.
Right.
So essentially, I took the same blueprint, like the grittiness, like I told you, when I took that job, I slept in my car, for 4 months. I didn't even have a place to stay, and I'm like, I ain't got, I got nothing to lose. I might as well be what I want to be anyway. But that was I went back to my roots. I know how to sell,
Right.
so if I need to make money, that's what I'm gonna do. And um, really in sales, there's two ways to do it. You can either be commission or you can be salary, but I've been commissioned 4 years in high school. You can't make no more money if you ain't selling no candy. So you said I'm saying it just seemed natural for me. And not to mention the company I was working for, they were brand new. They ain't have a salary to give me. So I'm like, hey, it's cool. Just give me an opportunity and show me what I need to do, and I'll take care of the rest.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so like it's like I said, it's levels to. I just learned and I got better. But the same thing that made me successful in marketing sales, I just took that and applied it to the photo booth industry.
Hmm.
It was hard for me in the beginning because I didn't know anything about photo booths. And like you said, I didn't like the modeling part. Like when I was looking at it, there's no, there's no Sharon in my area. You see
Mm.
what I'm saying? There's no super powerhouse marketing where I could look at the blueprint and see how they doing things and then extract that and flip it and do it myself.
Right.
So when you said that you're looking at my content, these are all things that I've sat down, I did my homework,
Hmm.
and I just like if you look at my content, like go on my Instagram page and scroll all the way down. Man, no videos is trash. They hot. That's bonfire. It's hot garbage. You know what I mean? But I leave it there because I want people to see the growth.
Yep.
See the growth. A
Yep.
lot of people on social media, they only showing the wins, but they're not talking about the losses.
Yeah.
And when you see like me able to differentiate myself from other people that's doing what I'm doing, is because again it's a formula. I'm taking a personal brand that people are buying into me. Like I slept in my car, I got laid off from my job, I rented a photo booth. That's the way I supported myself. And now you seeing the growth from that,
Hmm.
and people they're gonna respect the real.
They are.
And so that's really what's been separating me and how I've been applying this content and everything that I learned from marketing. Like I'm not gonna sit here and act like that didn't help me. When I
Hmm.
put it to the photo booth business, like I said, it was garbage. I didn't see anybody else that was doing it, but I was like, all right, let me be creative. That's why you will never see me doing any trends on social media, because you need to be able to have substance in your content. People need to be able to stop what they're doing because they think what your content is valuable enough. If you always doing trends, once that trend's done, you're not valuable.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'll never do a trend, even though I don't post as much. I only try to post things with value, but it takes time to create the stuff or the image and the aesthetic that I want to create to post on my social media.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, like I'm not even 2 years in. I'm still learning. It's a lot to learn, but I feel like I'm on the right path, and I'm doing it the way I'm stepping the way I want to step. It might not look like everybody else's,
Hmm.
but it's the way I want to do it, and I like what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
It looks good to me. And like I said, I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell that you were new. I just thought I didn't know who you were. That's it.
Yeah.
I thought you. Um, and you created your own seat at the table. So
Hmm.
how did you come up with your name? And your brand. What do you want people when they see you coming, or when they
Yep.
get to your website, or when they see you at an event? What do you want them to think about your brand?
Okay, so to answer the first question, the way I came up with my name, now I'm looking at it now. It's long as hell. It's a long name,
It's
but
good.
it's different. It's unique. You know what I mean? Everybody go with the snap, the flash, the pick. You know what I mean? But for some reason, when I kept coming up trying to like brainstorm a business name, the word phenomenal is just kept. coming to me. So I'm like, all right, phenomenal photo booth company. That's what I wanted to rock.
You're talking to somebody whose brand is focused and fabulous. So mine is wrong. Nobody can spell fabulous. Okay, so
Yeah, and what's so crazy is because my name was causing me not to get paid. People don't they writing me a check, they don't even know how to spell phenomenal.
I
You
know.
know what I mean? And so
I asked you about 5 times.
that's the one that that's what I pick, and that's what I'm rocking with. And but it's like it's becoming a stick,
Yeah.
And so, but now what you guys see from the brand now is where I'm trying. It's like I'm still trying to create that.
Mm-hmm.
I was going through a thing where I was like trying to create my brand. And when you new to starting a business and running a business, your brand from the beginning is always going to change.
Yeah.
Always going to have some kind of growth. Like the colors I wear now is not the colors it was when I first started. You know what I mean? And there's always some tweaking that gotta go on. But what I want people to think about when they look at my company is I want them to think it's a higher end aesthetic. You know what I mean? It's higher end. It's clear and concise. Like the message is clear and concise of who I'm serving, and the type of projects that I want.
Yeah.
And so the way I thought about this is my dad always used to tell me, "Hey man, when you go outside, don't dress like a bum. People gonna treat you how you look, right?" So if I'm going to a job interview and let's say I'm going to a job interview and I'm not looking the part,
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you if somebody coming there with a dress suit on, they're gonna get that job.
Mm-hmm.
So think of that as like, who do you want to target? Like, who's your ideal customer? Do you want to work with these bigger wedding venues and these bigger brands or these bigger like corporate companies?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Well, you need to come off as that. So you need to dress your business as that. And when it
Yeah.
comes to branding, it's really about perception. So how are people going to perceive you? I want them to think that, this guy, he's a professional. He's the face of his business, so we can connect with him on a personal level. He does high end work, and it looks good. And it don't look like the stuff that everybody else is doing. He's separating himself. So I'm still in the workings of doing that, but I think that I've done enough thinking and preparation and the groundwork to make it look like that right now.
Right.
In order to do that, so I'm actually redoing my website. I'm redoing all my content, but I started off by doing a brand photo shoot. So I was able to get models to come up because I need to match my aesthetic that I wanted to push.
Mm-hmm.
All the events that people book me for, they might not book my top package, or it might not be the right color scheme that I want to use for all my marketing. And I think that's where a lot of photo booth people we fall victim to that, right? Like we come into a venue. I was at an event the other night. The walls is red. I can't be having that all up in my website pictures. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're using all these things that don't match our aesthetic. So that's called like brand cohesiveness. It's not cohesive with my brand. So I was like, cool, man. I'm just going to find a venue or I rented a studio. I set up everything that I wanted. I had models come. I had them dressed in the colors that I needed. I did a brand photo shoot, did a video shoot. So now I have marketing material to add to my website, add to my Instagram page. That's going to give me the aesthetic, the color scheme, and the cohesion I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I can start trying to promote my brand that
Yeah.
looks cohesive. So it's been a journey. I ain't gonna go too far down a rabbit hole, but I at least want to put enough knowledge out there for people to take the steps.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how many people been running their business. You never did a brand photo shoot. You have no professional images, no headshots. And so the reason why that's important is because when you go to these corporate companies, they're gonna want to see that.
Yep.
You know,
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
it's been a journey, to say the least.
Well, you're doing well on the journey. Like you started talking about how you're different than the other businesses. Tell
Mhm.
us about your market. We were talking a little bit about that before we started the show.
Yeah.
What did your market look like?
So it was weird. All right, because like my city is a super small city. So I was one of the first ones to have a salsa photo booth in my city.
Mm-hmm.
But in the area, a lot of people had mirrors or they had 360s.
Okay.
And also they weren't charging, and they're still not charging what they need to charge.
Mm-mm.
And so, but I'm gonna be honest, as far as let's start with the amount of photo booth companies. We'll start there. It wasn't that many, right? I've kind of felt really confident, like I can come in and differentiate myself, and there's not tons of competition. It was some out there, but it wasn't a lot. Over this last year, I counted myself personally, the people that came on my radar 45 more photo booth companies in the last year.
Wow.
which to me, I think I'm okay with that because in my area, like I said, it was small. A lot of people, my problem was I didn't know how to explain to people what a photo booth was because everybody thought it was a box with a curtain. And so
Right.
you got to understand when you get competitors or or other people running the same business as you, it's a good side to that. Even though I know that sounds crazy, but
Hmm.
they're actually educating the market as well on what a photo booth is, and it's not just you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I've seen since that those 45 companies came that I'll have to explain less what a photo booth is,
Exactly.
which saves me time and saves me on my breath because I was tired. I had to put some chapstick on before I explained that conversation. And so yeah, it's about 45 more. I noticed that as far as pricing, that everything really seems a little low, right?
Hmm.
And the one thing that I had to swallow, like as far as like the pride of the pricing and all this other stuff, I had to learn like don't do what other people doing. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh man, if I come a little under, homie over here, I might get the booking. But guess what? I still didn't get the booking.
Hmm.
And when I did get the booking, I got bills to pay. Why would it takes 4 events to pay rent? That don't sound right to me, right? And so I have a saying where it's like when it comes to my business, I do two things: I mind it and I handle it. What they charging, that's their business. I'm not knocking it. Like some people might be using it as a side hustle, and that's cool, bro. Do your thing. That's your food. I'm not gonna look at your plate. But for me, I need to be making me some money.
Right.
So I stopped looking at the pricing. I stopped looking at everything else, and I just started charging what I felt was right. And then also, as I got better at running a photo booth business, the more I learned if my picture quality was better, I got better backdrops, better props. I charged more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's really been a challenge to try to figure out like the market because it's all willy nilly. But
Mhm.
a way to kind of help with that is just worry about yourself. Do your thing and step how you step because when people book you, they're gonna buy from you because they like you. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So,
And there's customers for every pricing.
mm-hmm,
So like even like when you look at cars, there are people that would never drive a certain type of car.
right,
Same with our business. There are people that wouldn't go for $100 photo booth. Like something
mm-hmm,
must be wrong.
yeah,
Are they going to show up? Is this for real?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Like they're not even going to go there because they already know that's going to be a headache, or it has been a headache in the past. What's the saying? You pay for what you get. Well, I feel like if I pay a little bit more, it's going to be less of a headache. It's going to look good. I'm going to get what I asked for. They're going to deliver it on time. You know what I mean? So that's
mm-hmm,
why we charge what we charge so that we have, there needs to be things in place. Like I got to have insurance. I got to have, photo booth attendants. I have to have backups. I have to have
mm-hmm,
enough media for my printing. I want to hire designers because I don't know how to design. I want to have
right,
money to hire a designer. All these things cost money. I want to
mm-hmm,
have a long photo booth career. I need to buy more equipment. So all these, the price is considering a lot more than, oh, I want to be able to pay that electric bill this week. It's not about the electric bill. It's about employing people. I want to employ people. And that's the other thing. If you think more than yourself, God will provide more opportunities for you too. So if you're trying to put people to work, that was always my thing. I knew I couldn't do this thing by myself. And the more I hire, the more I look into hiring people, the more jobs come our way.
yeah, no, that's true, and it's the mindset of abundance.
Hmm.
So I have two photo booths now, and
Hmm.
I just hired my first team members, right? And so I know how it felt when I was working a job that was poo poo, don't pay jack squat, you
Hmm.
know, and I hated showing up to work.
That part.
So right now I pay my attendants 20 an hour,
Yep.
right? And so I'll be real with them. Look, I'm still growing this thing, right? And so you can make you some good money on the side, but it's not about that. It's not about just making good money on the side. If y'all come and y'all train and y'all put the work in and y'all provide a good service, one, you can get your tips, but
Hmm.
we'll be able to grow this thing. And as I grow, I'll always cut cheese. I'll give you more money, you
That
know.
part.
And so, and we had a mutual understanding. Not only that, if you're not paying good money, you probably hiring people from the bottom tier qualities, and then they go into the venue showing up late, ain't dressed, wrinkled shirt. You know what I mean? Because that's a reflection on your business. So when you paying a little bit more, you're gonna get better quality people.
Yeah.
And on
It's
top of
hard.
that,
It's hard with that attire and perception of how you look. That go into consideration when you pick your person.
yeah. But see, but that's also where it's like treat people gonna treat you how you look.
Yeah.
So if I'm hiring somebody and you showing up in some flip flops, man, listen, we can't do that. So I'm keeping that mindset, but it's also like the client and the venue, right? Like when my people are going into a venue, we all got phenomenal photo booth coat shirts on when we arrive, but and when it's time to do the event, we black tie because with venues, they're gonna say like, man, these are professionals. That's what separates us from the guys that's charging 200, $300 because it's all the service thing, and that also goes back like to your brand. When people are looking at your business, if it look cheap, you're gonna get cheap people.
Mm-hmm.
But if it looks like nobody going to Apple or Apple store and tell them what they want to pay for an iPhone, they ain't coming in asking for no discounts. They
No.
going in, they paying full price because they feel like, man, I got it's social status with this.
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts ain't calling Starbucks telling them they charging too much for a coffee. People go to Starbucks because they love it. It's under branding, and so like that's the journey I'm on, and that's what I'm learning. But it goes down from your brand, how you operate within that, the people that like that you hire and how they look. That ties into your brand as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Needed those words. Look, 11 years in, it don't change. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah,
Especially when you get down to the months where it's just insane, and you like, I gotta take whoever can come this way, and it's you want to be correct when you address people and have certain demands, and it's
yeah,
just really really hard. So
it is.
yeah, that might be a conversation offline. Ah! But I love what you said about the black tie. What's your black tie look like? Are they wearing black pants, white shirts, and a tie? What is your black tie?
Yeah, so it's essentially it's black dress shirt, black dress pants, black dress shoes.
Okay.
And
Are they
that's when we
tie?
doing, yeah. So that's when we're doing like weddings or corporate events. Like obviously, if it's outside, you're just gonna have your regular phenomenal photo shirt on. It has some cargo shorts or
Okay.
something like that, But when I show up to an event, it's weird because we got two jobs that we're trying to do, right? Like it's not about us. Like we're serving the event. We're not a guest at the event, but I want people to approach us like we family there, and it's aligned with that. But ain't nobody gonna say we ain't professional.
Yeah.
You know, that's the whole thing. And so when the bride comes over to the photo booth, they like, hey, we hire professionals. These they know what they're doing.
Right.
And they didn't hire you looking like you go to their wedding, you look like you just came back from hitting 3-on-3 with a half court. You know what I mean? Like you looking clean and you looking sharp because that's a reflection on the bride and groom.
Yeah.
And so if you come looking the part, that's half the battle. The rest of the thing is just using your personality and helping people have a good time.
Exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the part. It's a lot when you look at a photo booth attendant. And I'm learning. I'm still learning.
Mm-hmm.
It's trial and error. Hiring people. Are you hiring a body? Are you hiring somebody just to press start? Are you hiring somebody that knows how to entertain people? And at this
Mm-hmm.
point, when we talk about standing out in the saturated market, we need to be looking at hiring people that can offer an experience, people that know
Right.
how to entertain people that know
Mm-hmm.
how to look people in the eye, people know how to talk to people, how to elevate your voice when there's loud music behind them, how to gracefully move people through your experience.
Right.
People that take your business and your vision just as serious as you do, and
Mm-hmm.
know that, hey, if I do this is going to build this business, and that means I can continue to work. I don't have to keep looking for a new job every month, every week, whatever. So let me tie myself to this business and really learn how to have fun. And that's the
Yeah.
other thing. Like you said, if you ain't having fun, they not gonna come back. The guests ain't
Right.
gonna come back. Your attendants ain't gonna come back.
Mm-hmm.
They
Ain't nobody coming back.
they
They.
was crap. That we not hiring them no more. We don't
Mm-hmm.
care if you got insurance. You can't come in here no more. Like
Yeah.
I can't even imagine being. I don't think anybody has ever been kicked out of a venue, but that'd be interesting to find out.
Hey, I mean, you never know, man. It's some
I
weird
never
stuff
know.
around here. Um, and here's the thing too, and I'll say this, like you mentioned, like the vision part. That's been something that's been really big for me this year is like a vision. And
Hmm.
so even in the Bible, it say write the vision and make it plain, right?
Yeah.
So he may read it, or he may run that read it. Our job as entrepreneurs, as owners, we can you can say owner, you can use any word that you want, but the word I want to use is leader,
Mm.
right? And so our job is to lead, but and you also have to understand that like if let's say if my girl right now, my wife, if I put a blindfold on her and I just say, "Hey, come with me," she gonna be like, "Where are we going?" She ain't gonna understand, right? Because she don't see the vision. You feel what I'm saying? So when you able to show people a vision and make it clear, and when I say vision, I mean a goal of what you're trying to get to. What's the end goal? When you can show them that,
Hmm.
they can buy into it because they see it now.
Yeah.
I have calls with my team that I hire, and I'm like, hey, this is what we need to get to. Do y'all got ideas on this?
Yeah.
I'll give them the vision and like let's put the roadmap. Let's do it together
Hmm.
because now they're a part of something, and it's not it's bigger. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than them, and they see the benefits that could come from it. And this is just stuff that I wish that people would have did for me when I was working for them. Because a lot of time people just come into work. Their goal, their vision is making a paycheck,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Hey,
Hmm.
that's their vision. Hey, I'm coming to make a paycheck. That's their goal. But we can say, hey, look, it's bigger than a paycheck. Okay, if we can accomplish this and we focus on this, man, you're gonna get more than some paychecks. You might get some residuals. You never know, man. We trying to get to the bag. So it's taking that time, you know what I mean, and having those conversations.
Right. Right. And like I said, I saw you. I admired what you were doing. Like I said, I could not tell you were just getting started. What? So this is going to be a great response.
Okay.
What, as you reflect over the last year, going into your second year, what advice would you give to somebody that said, you know what, I could do that, or who would you advise to get into into the entertainment business, into entertainment industry, because that's what we are. We're in the
Hmm.
entertainment industry,
Oh, for sure.
whether it's photo booths, DJing, what have you.
Mhm.
What advice would you have for them getting started?
So the first question is, who would I recommend? Anybody with a great personality. So for me, that's a gift. The
Mhm.
personality. I don't have to work hard at that. I know how to talk to people and engage with people.
Right.
But the socialization and networking is a skill. So it's a difference between a gift and a skill. Like a gift, you're born with that.
Yeah.
You ain't even got to try. A skill is something that you practice with over and over and over. You put in the work and you develop the skill. So now you don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
Right. So if somebody has a personality and you got the gift the gab, you know how to have fun and provide that experience
Hmm.
when it's party time, you should get into the photo booth industry. So like, and I'll give you an example. So like bartenders,
Mm.
great personalities,
Yeah,
right?
I can do it. I think I have a great personality, but that's a whole nother level.
Right. So if you're a bartender, you can run a photo booth business.
Oh yeah, easy.
Customer service people, they got good personalities. They nice. The mannerisms, the patience to not be, you know what I mean?
That's true.
Like, so if you're in customer service, if you a barbers, like you can have a photo booth and run it as like a little side hustle, or that can be your thing on the side. So if you got a great personality, you can run a photo booth business. And here's why I'm saying that. So when people see like the amount of success, you want to call it, that I'm having within 2 years, the secret sauce is the personality. The people that is my competition, they have different gifts. I'm not knocking them, but when it comes to me, I can connect and socialize and network. My personality, the way that I make people feel about
Yeah,
me, they call me and book me.
yeah,
That's why I'm getting those, because I know how to build a relationship with people.
yeah.
And a lot of times it's because they just like hanging around me. And so when you look at like relationships, I always tell people like a relationship is like a bank account. So like when you come around, are you making deposits or are you making withdrawals? Are you a giver or are you a taker? So when I
Mm,
come around and I'm doing an event, I'm trying to make a big deposit. And how am I doing that? I'm giving up. It's a lot of my personality. I'm making people feel good because we selling the experience, and it ain't hard for me. So I'm
right.
making money. You right?
Yeah.
So that's what I would say to that. If you got a great personality, you can get to the affordable business. It really don't even matter what your background is. But what I would say, like for new people, getting started, like my advice is you got to be yourself. That that's really the key. And so like we look for content as photo booth owners. Like I call them event recap videos. You see them where people are like, you got your booth, you got music behind it. Those are great.
Mm-hmm.
But we always look for content. You're the content. I'm
Yeah.
my own content. Like when I did my vlogs on my Instagram page talking about going from one photo booth to two photo booths, I was talking about the struggle that I was having in my business, right? So like you can use your struggle as power and struggle, that's content. And
Yeah.
I showed the growth. And I showed booking strategies, how I was able to book my events. I went to networking events. It had one where I was out just passing out business cards. You see what I'm saying? I showed that, but I'm the content. It was about me growing my business, and I just put it out there for people.
Yeah.
I felt cringy doing it because I'm not really good. At that point, I wasn't good behind the camera, but I'm like, hey, I'm my own. I'm the face of my business. I got to get out there and do that. And so, be your own content, be your own person. Whatever what everybody else is doing, that's cool, but try to be creative and get people to buy into your own personal brand. Like when I watch your videos, I was locked in. I'm like, oh, I'm like, hey, because you talked about getting laid off, and you talk about having like a platform and an environment and a community around not gatekeeping information.
Yeah.
I ain't got to be jealous. I could just ask
Right.
and show you how to get to the bag.
Mm.
So and I talk about that. That's really was my form of giving the information. Like I talked about how I did a free event, and that free event got me $1,000 because it's a strategy to it. I'm offering this free event to people, right? And I'm in this room full of people who came to spend a bunch of money and give away with these big old corporate heads or whatever. They all experiencing my photo booth. I'm getting events from that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so but I put it out there just trying to be myself and using me as a form of content. And you guys can do that. Like if you start in the photo booth business right now, I would start making vlogs. I'm a bartender. I make okay money or I make good money, but I want something more for myself. I want to start a photo booth business. I'm gonna make a vlog showing you guys if I make it or if I don't make it. But whatever way, I'm about to put it on camera. And people gonna buy into it, especially because you targeting a certain person because you reaching them.
Yeah.
It's a bartender probably in Seattle. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Now you inspired them to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
The same way I'm talking about, I got laid off and I slept in my car, and now I use my photo booth as the only way that you can to make money. I'm talking to somebody that's gonna be like, man, I got laid off too.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it, and so that's really what I've been doing. That's what I talked about, like making a seat at the table for yourself. Venues didn't want to work with me at first because I was new. But I made it to the point where, like, hey, I'm only gonna ask you one time if I can come sit down and eat. Whether you tell me no or not, I'm about to pull up a plate and eat. Because
Mm-hmm.
once I get in the venue, I'm gonna make a name for myself. So I'm not only networking, which is like a strategic approach behind talking to people. I'm socializing. I'm talking to the bartenders. I'm talking to the servers. I'm talking to the cleanup crew,
Mm-hmm.
and they like me. So now I'm in a spot regardless. And when people are asking, like, yo, how come he ain't on your vendor list? It's undeniable. It's almost unreasonable not to have me on there because everybody knows, say I come into the spot, I'm putting it down. It's unreasonable not to have this. So I made myself a seat at the table. When I talk about like what was the thing you had mentioned earlier? Yeah, just separating yourself. I'm using me to separate myself.
The mind, I thought we were talking about, I was on the mindset when we were talking about mindset. Too.
Yeah,
I think that I think a lot of people, like we said, people get into it for not the wrong reasons. Whatever your reason is for getting into it, it's
mm-hmm.
fine. But it's hard when people can do so much better.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they having a conversation. So I coach as well, and I consult with other photo boothers, and then they get on and they just, I can't. And I'm like, well, if I can, you can.
Right.
So it's no different. Like we got the same software. We got
Mm-hmm.
similar booth. No. And so just that mindset of having a really strong mindset to what you're really out here trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but it's like goals, it's goal setting and then there's mindset. It's two different things.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And see, that's why you a coach. Now, come on, talk to me. That's why you the coach. Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to, what is your goal? What is your reasoning for getting into this thing? And then have a strong mindset behind it that you can achieve and do it.
Right.
But if you
Right.
keep talking negative, if you keep talking down, if you keep people ain't gonna buy, they cheap, they don't want to pay the money. That ain't your stop talking to them. Talk to the
Right.
person that you do have what they want. Sometimes you'll send your invoice, pay. That's your customer, not
Right.
you got to send 25 emails. Did you get it? Did you see it? I got to talk to the committee. And that's true. Sometimes you do need to talk to
Right.
the committee. At the end of the day, they got a budget. And if
Mm-hmm.
you do not fit in the budget, it's okay. That is
Yeah.
not your customer.
Yeah. And this is what I think is really
People let
cool because
that beat up on them so bad. They let that, the negative, things about their pricing being too much, they let that beat them up that they give up. They give up on the business.
yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like just like you said, it's the mindset. That's really what you change your mindset, you change your life. And when you change your mindset, you change the people that you hang around and talk to.
That part.
And so photo booth businesses, I'm gonna say this: if you want to get into it, it's hard. It's not easy. Nothing in life is easy. It's hard for the ant, right? It's hard for the lion. It's hard for everybody because it's life. You know what I mean? So like, if you thinking it's gonna be easy, that's why a lot of people don't have that long term. Like they only did it for 6 months. Well, I never got good at anything in 6 months. But just be real with you. But you got to be resilient. You have to. But once you break,
Certain things get easier, but it never gets easy.
right, exactly.
And it's not, it's harder because you're pivoting to different things. You're learning new things. You're doing different things. My business looks nothing like it did 11 years ago. It looks nothing like it did a year ago.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It just doesn't, because I want to grow. I want to do things better. Where with things that irritate me, I want to get rid of them. And I want to replace them with something that's going to make me more money or save me some peace and some stress.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, come on. This is why you the coach.
Yeah.
This is why you the coach.
Just get rid of it. Just take it out of your daily. And that's one of the things we're going to be talking about at the retreat is how to automate some processes in your business so that it's off your plate. It's not something like some people have a hard time with rejection. I have a hard time with rejection. So if you automate, your communications or some of your communications, that takes it off the plate. You don't even feel it anymore. Oh, I didn't even realize, so try to automate as much as of your process. Try to, build out templates, have a standard of operation. Some people do not have their SOPs together. So creating your SOPs, creating your workflows, creating your templates is going to make life easier. It's going to make your business more efficient and consistent, which also leads to growth.
Yeah.
So that's what we got to do.
100%.
And that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about down in Houston, Texas. I wish I had known you to invite you to come to that, but we will have more.
I know you're having more. I'll be on the next one.
Will you be attending the Photo Booth Photo Booth Expo in Vegas in February?
No, I don't think so. I think the day of the expo, I'm pretty sure that my friend he has a wedding. Actually, it's in Texas.
Oh wow.
The wedding's in Texas, but man, this has been my homie since we was in like 8th grade. So I ain't gonna miss his wedding. I'm bringing the booth. I'm a act the fool.
Well, you have to attend. This year is going to be a little earlier. Usually it's like the 20 something of the month. I think it starts February 16th, goes through the 20th in Vegas. We're at South Point Casino. I'll be speaking at the Photo Booth Expo as well as the Strong Women Expo this year. And of course, Chit Chat, we always get together and do something. Outside of that, the Chit Chat community on Facebook is always talking. We're always on there sharing. And like you said, we do not gatekeep. You should see some of the stuff people were putting on even this week. It was amazing. Things that they were sharing. As soon as they hear something, they share it in the group. And then also the podcast, I'm trying to get better by, meeting new people. Whether you've been in this business a month, if you've been in this business 20 years, I want people to know the growth and the types of success people are having all over the country. So I want to say you're probably my first Midwest person.
Hey,
Maybe.
let's go. Let's do it. Come on now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Represent for the Midwest. Let's go.
All right, Midwest. Yes.
Hmm. Holding it down over here in Indiana.
So it was a great time talking with you. And I wish you nothing but success with your business. And if you want to get in touch with you, this is your website. Well, how else do people get in touch with you? What is your? Are you on social media? What
Yeah.
handles do you go with on social media?
So yeah, you guys can get in touch with me on Instagram. That's where a lot of people reach out to me at Phenom Photo Booth. So it's PHENOM Photo Booth all together on Instagram, and you guys can reach out, DM me, and then that way we can connect.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time.
Until next time, I appreciate you. I
Thank
appreciate you so much.
you.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for, finding me on social media, buying into my story, having me on. And I told we gonna make great things happen. I told you we gonna make great things happen. So I appreciate the time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.